Lucas kicks to Williams. Back to Lucas. There's the pick. Pass to Prince. A picture-perfect screenplay, and the jumper's good. Prince has got his second bucket. And there was a study using the new motion tracking camera, Steve, that I know that you're interested in, to look at every action on the court, every action, and it determined that the league's most impactful player, none other than Chris Paul.
Well, did we really need the cameras to figure that out?
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
I think we've all been able to tell that Chris Paul has been one of the most efficient players in the NBA for years. He's always at the controls for his team. So poised, an incredible decision maker, and just figures out whatever needs to be done to win the game. Well, you allow them to get right to the rim like that. That's your only option.
Yeah, I think you got to foul them, and free throws are better than a layup. You know, there had been talk of the Clippers trading DeAndre Jordan for Kevin Garnett 2 summers ago. The Clippers have to be happy they didn't make that trade. Sometimes the best trades are the ones that aren't made. KG's still getting it done, but Jordan is going to be their center for a long time.
It's deflected. Tips it. He hangs in there and cashes in on the second chance points. Tolliver's got the game tied up here for Detroit.
Well, I'm impressed with the determination he showed right there, getting himself in the good position under the glass. Did his work early there.
Yeah, with the presence of mind to know just where the rebound was going to go to.
And then the nifty touch to tip it in. That was beautiful.
Chance there to take the lead, missing. And for the Clippers, they're shooting 42% to begin this game. Here's the break. And Glenn Davis is going to pick up that foul. That's his first foul.
Second team foul.
Outside Jackson. Caldwell Pope dishes to Monroe. Outside Butler. Good on the triple. Butler's got himself on the board with 3 there. Crawford, no one around him. A good close contest so far as we finish the first quarter. Pistons lead by 3. And we welcome you back to the NBA here on 2K Sports. If you're just tuning in, this is Kevin Harlan alongside Clark Kellogg and Steve Kerr. And we're ready to get going once more. And the players having a chance to have a short break and get some rest themselves and get refueled and hydrated with some Gatorade. More terrific basketball in store for us tonight. And before we move on, what do you guys think about what we've seen so far from Detroit?
Well, the thing they tried to establish right away was the presence down low. You look at the points in the paint. I think that's been the difference.
Yeah, and I like the fact, Steve, that they're not settling for the outside shots. I mean, go in there and get what you want. Keep attacking the rim.
Taking a look at Los Angeles. Turkoglu is out there with Glenn Davis. Then it's Crawford. Then there's Austin Rivers. And it's Hawes in at the 5, home in the paint. Let's go to our sideline reporter, Doris Burke. Doris, what do you have?
Thank you, Kevin. Doc Rivers trying to help this Clippers team to the mountaintop. And Chris Paul said, I've never had a coach that wants to win as bad as I do, until Rivers. Rivers said, I'm just here to try to win. I always tell our players there's no guarantee to it. You have to be willing to get your hearts broken. Gentlemen.
He's getting him to lay it all on the line. Doris, thank you. Just 5 on the clock. And he starts out with the miss in this one.
Well, I think he had all the space he needed. He just couldn't find the bottom of the net.
The Clippers started out as a good team last year, but they never seemed to be content with what they had. They added vet after vet as the season progressed and really made some nice additions.
Caldwell Pope kicks to Drummond. Shot from 12. And there's the shot clock violation. Couldn't get the shot off in time. Blake Griffin, he's checked in for the Clippers. Clippers trail by 5. Rivers with it. He dishes it to Crawford. And it's off the back rim, no good. And the Clippers' depth was a big help for him in the first round as the bench provided, I thought, Clark, a good punch for him against the Golden State Warriors.
You know, that's true, but they just didn't have enough in the tank to get by the Thunder in that second round of the playoffs and what was really, I thought, an entertaining back-and-forth series.
Butler kicks to Caldwell Pope. From the arc. Detroit, no good that time either.
Not able to find it here in the second. He's off stride and off track just a bit after that one he had earlier.
Jody Meeks, he's checked in for the Pistons. And then for Los Angeles, Barnes, he's checked in for Turkoglu. Redick comes in for Jamal Crawford. And Paul's subbed in for Rivers. Jackson kicks to Meeks. Pulls up, high post. And it comes off the front of the rim.
He's one guy the defense is not afraid to leave open from that range, and for obvious reasons.
Paul against Jackson. Paul goes in. Now Griffin inside. Their offense stone cold. Another miss there. Detroit leading by 5. Here's Jackson. And he makes no mistake on the slam dunk. Clark, some serious agility coming out of the backcourt.
You know, that bucket might count for a little more than 2 points when he finishes with that kind of flourish.
Yeah, against a D that was already reeling a little bit. That was like a body blow.
From the line. And that one's good. 8 points for Chris Paul.
And that's a difficult shot in the face of a defender that towers over.
Well, you know, he almost seems to enjoy those mismatches, Steve. It gives him a chance to show what a strong finisher he is.
Over in the corner, Caldwell Pope. And that's out of bounds. Detroit will retain possession.
A nice play to get a hand on that pass and tip it out of bounds.
I tell you what, guys, if he gets there a fraction earlier, that's a steal.
Here's what Detroit's going with right now. Anthony's checked in for Drummond. Sean Williams checks in for Greg Monroe. Tayshaun Prince is checked in for Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. And Lucas subbed in for Reggie Jackson. Clippers trail by 7.
Well, Tayshaun Prince, a terrific player in his time with that championship Detroit Pistons team of years past, but his decline over the last 5 years has been noticeable. Ever since he hit 30, it's been downhill.
The Pistons have gone 3 of 8 from the field since the beginning of the second quarter. Over in the corner, Meeks. There's the pick. Got a piece of it. And stolen by Jordan. To the wing on the left. Redick for 3. Detroit with the rebound. And Chris Paul picks up the foul. That's his first foul.
That's his first personal foul. First team foul.
Here's Prince. 6 points for him. And he uses the glass on the layup. Prince has got 4 this quarter.
They're getting on a roll inside. Their last 3 field goals have come from inside the paint area.
The defense has to make an adjustment. They've got to string together some stops, or at the very least, try to force this team into some bad shots. That's an easy shot there. That's a shot that he should make more often than not.
Lucas with it. Chris Paul covering. There's a screen by Williams. Meeks passes to Williams. Laid in with a nice touch off the glass. And now an 8-point Detroit lead.
They have repeatedly probed inside in the first half, guys, and it's paid dividends.
Yeah, it sure has, Clark. I mean, with as many points as they've gotten in the paint, they really haven't had to do much on the perimeter.
And the Clippers decide to take their first timeout here.
Jody Meeks, a 6'4" shooting specialist, a starter last season with the Lakers. You know, he had his best year of his career. Very effective in what became a larger role for him offensively with LA.
And it's Paul penetrating. Out of bounds. Detroit takes possession.
I tell you what, that's just a major unforced error right there, guys. My goodness.
Detroit leading by 8. And Meeks with his best season last year, but still probably best suited to a reserve role.
Yeah, I think that's the case. He can shoot it. He competes at the defensive end. He's smart. Doesn't make a lot of mistakes. He's not going to give you rebounding and playmaking, but what he gives you is pretty good.
No matter who it is, that kind of defense is not going to cut it.
Outside for Griffin. There's the pass to Paul to stop the run. And DeAndre Jordan throws it down.
Nothing fancy there. Didn't need it.
Nope. His only concern right now, Clark, is getting the points on the board, and I don't mean style points.
I like the simplicity.
But there was some style there, Kev. It was a pretty sweet one-handed flush.
And the Pistons, an entirely new group now out there. It's Jackson with the drive.
Reggie Jackson is really strong and athletic, an excellent driver and finisher, especially when working off the pick and roll.
And a chance for just a second to check out the scoring breakdown for the Pistons.
With the aggression they're showing early on, I mean, they're driving it to the hoop with authority and force.
And the other thing we're seeing is great ball movement. We're seeing a lot of good offensive execution, ball movement, player movement, setting up assists. You know, he's as close to a sure thing as you can possibly have when he steps to the line.
And Jackson, a good three-point shooter at Boston College. But it seems, Steve, he's still adjusting to the NBA three-point range.
Well, last year he shot about 3 of them per game, Kevin. Made a little more than a third of his attempts. So he needs to shoot a better percentage from the corners in particular. But, you know, as a ball handler, he's a good setup man, good assist man, really good all-around guard.
And there's the call by the official. They'll count the basket here following the goaltending call.
He thought he had that one clean, but the ref saw it differently. They'll count the basket.
Paul outside. Out to the wing. Jordan the screen. Paul with the ball. Guarded now by Jackson.
And he came off that screen. The defense just couldn't get over the top. Beautiful play.
Yep, and without a hand in his face, he's going to bury those.
Out to the wing. Screen by Monroe. 6 on the shot clock. It's Jackson with the drive. And Chris Paul picks up the foul. That'll be his second foul of the game.
Boy, with 2 fouls now, he really has to be disciplined and under control for the rest of this half.
Griffin with the steal.
You know, it's quite surprising to see them leading at this point, given the number of turnovers they've already committed.
No question. There's been some good and some bad from them in the first half, but they need to tighten things up here.
Over in the corner, Caldwell Pope. And the 3 off target. And the call will go against Caron Butler. That's his first foul. Davis is checked in for Blake Griffin. Back to Paul. Barnes sets a screen for Paul. Buries the long-range jumper. Now just a 4-point Piston lead. .130 left to play here in the second quarter. Left side, Butler. Just 5 to shoot. And stolen by Jordan. Oh, and there's the alley-oop.
Great anticipation and awareness to come up with the steal and trigger the fast break.
Wow, and now it's just a one-possession game thanks to that quick hitter. Fantastic basketball in the open floor.
And Butler, here we go.
Well, last season for Butler, he knew he was going to be in a rebuilding situation with the Bucks, but when they bought him out at the end of February, he had a chance to join a real contender.
And he makes the first. The Pistons making a change here. Tolliver's checked in. And then for the Clippers, Hedo Turkoglu's checked in for Barnes. Crawford comes in for J.J. Redick. And it's Austin Rivers in for Paul.
You know, as we've gotten closer to halftime, their style has improved. It's gotten more aggressive, more physical.
It sure seems like it has. They've spent a lot of time at the